name's Janelle and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to be sharing a little tour of my sewing space. I shared one of these on my channel many years ago and it's I think my most watched video. So I thought it was about time I filmed an updated version because my sewing space has changed a lot since then. Yeah, without further ado, let me show you my sewing space. So I thought we would start at the door. This is how you get into the space. And directly to the left of the door, I have my fabric storage. In this bookcase, I store the fabrics that I have a little bit of a plan for already. At the top of the bookcase, I have these two beautiful wicker picnic baskets. They're both secondhand. The bottom one stores all my vintage sewing patterns that I've been collecting for the last decade or so. So it's absolutely chock-a-block full of patterns, and the top one is just a cute little basket I picked up from an op shop, and it's got the cutest green gingham on the inside, and it's just literally the perfect picnic basket. I'm hoping when the weather warms up I will take it out on a picnic or two, but at the moment it stores all my sewing machine instruction books and little bits and pieces like that that I don't want to lose but need somewhere handy to just kind of store it all. So that's where all things like that live. And then we've got the fabrics. So I've color coordinated them as best I can, which makes it look really pretty. I've also got a few threads and macrame cord and things like that. The wool in there is for my vintage knitting machine, which I'll give you a closer look at in a second. And then I've also just got some random bits and pieces at the side there. So here is my vintage Empasal knitting machine from the 60s, I think. Probably in the perfect mint green shade. I just love this thing. I haven't got it set up at the moment, unfortunately, but if you have a look at my last sewing space tour I did, you can see it all set up there. So we'll go to the other side of the door now. This here is my cutting table. I made this with the help of Matt. It's just a sheet of plywood that I painted my favorite shade of pink and then just drilled it to some hairpin legs that I picked up from Bunnings. So I'll leave a link to them down below, so if you wanted to pick some up yourself you can. I talk about my cutting table a lot in my behind the brand videos, but it has been a game changer. I used to have to cut out all my dresses and all my sewing projects on the floor, and it would absolutely do my back in, and now I can just spread the fabric out on the table and cut it on there, and it's a dream, I tell you. And then over in this corner I have just a couple of plants. I painted the pots the same color as the table because I thought that would look really cool, and I'm super happy with how it looks. And lastly, we've just got a little waste paper bin there and my beautiful green retro chair that I picked up from an op shop. Then right next to my cutting table, I've got these two racks of dresses. So these racks contain all of the dresses that are on roseryapparel.com. As soon as the dress is done, we'll just keep it on here so it doesn't get lost or crinkled or anything. And I have to say, I love how it looks. I also have just a few sandbags down the bottom here. They kind of just make sure that these racks don't go anywhere anytime soon. And they're made from vintage fabric, which I think looks beautiful as well. So now we're going to come around to the other side of the room. This is my main sewing table. It houses my overlocker and my sewing machine. But again, let's have a bit of a closer look at what's on this table now. So I made this pegboard here for a market, for the Finest Keepers market, and it houses all of the threads I have. There's not heaps. I've seen sewing spaces with a lot more than this, but these are the main colors I use, and yeah, I love how that looks. And then I've just got a pair of scissors and some washi tape. Those are kind of the things I go to most often, and I love the look of a pegboard. I just think it looks really cute. Then in this corner, I have just a couple of notebooks and my planner and a plant that I tried to propagate from one of my other plants and it didn't thrive. So I'm going to replace that soon. So then I've just got my overlocker and then my beloved brother sewing machine. Then on the wall at my table, I just have this kind of mood board situation happening. It's just a few designs that I'm really drawn to. The She Will Be Apples print is by Gemma O'Brien. I just love her work and I'll link her below. The eucalyptus print kind of paper here is from Camp Cove Swim. I bought a pair of bathers from them and that's what it was wrapped in, but I loved it so much I didn't want to throw it away. Then I've also got some business cards and postcards that I've picked up along the way, and then my No Way Rosé cross stitch that I've actually shared the pattern for and a video of recently, so I'll leave that in the description as well if you'd like to go check that out. Then I've just got this plant here in a cute little sugar canister that I picked up from an op shop. The table itself though is just DIY again. The top of the table is just a plank I bought from Bunnings, and then the legs are just, what are they called? A-frame legs from Officeworks. And then next to my sewing desk is Matt's desk, which is pretty tech heavy I think compared to mine. And next to his desk I've just got this macrame plant hanger with another one of my spider plants. You can see they're kind of taking over this corner here, and it's having a baby as well, which is really exciting, and I'll need to repot that one soon. I made this macrame plant holder. If you'd like to know how I made this, then let me know in the comments below, and I might just do a little sneaky DIY video of how to make one. And now we're in one of my favorite corners of my sewing space. This plant stand here I just picked up secondhand from Gumtree, and I'm using it to house my Frankie magazine collection. As you can see, it's pretty huge. I don't really need this many magazines, but Frankie was a favorite of mine for so many years. I don't buy it anymore religiously, but I have to say I still reach for random issues of Frankie all the time just to get a little inspiration. I've got another spider plant here. This one is also having a baby. They're really happy in this sunny corner, so that's nice. And I'm also really lucky to have a collection of golden handbooks here, which are vintage and really, really cool to flick through. I get a lot of inspiration for fashion and ideas from those. That's kind of my magazine and book stand now. So this curtain in the back is just a really pretty one I picked up from an op shop secondhand. I've also got this little No Way Rosé embroidery I did on my mum's embroidery machine a few weeks ago. And I've just pinned it to the curtain because I thought that was kind of cute. Then next to the magazine stand, I have this amazing vintage bird cage holder. I picked this one up from an op shop, but I also have one in my lounge room that I found in my best friend's backyard when she bought her house. It was just sitting there and I was like, are you wanting that? Because I'll take it. I have plans to get a little hanging vase or a hanging plant pot and hang it there. I'm hoping to get something like a vine so that the leaves can kind of coil around the whole frame of the birdcage holder. I think that would look really cool. Then here along the window I keep my ironing board. This isn't actually where I iron if I need to. I usually just pull it out and bring it over to my sewing table so I can iron and sew all in the one area. But this is kind of where it lives when it's not being used. The ironing board cover is really cute, but it just came with the iron, so I'll see if I can find it below and link it for you. But yeah, it's pretty cute. And now we've come to another favourite corner of mine. This is kind of just a desk, I guess you could say. This is where I do a lot of my planning. The table, let's start with that. The table is from an op shop. It's secondhand. I picked it up for 20 bucks and I love it. It's got this really cool kind of retro pattern on it that I love so much. And on this table I have a couple of magazine holders here that I use to store my patterns in. I'm kind of in the process of moving all my patterns from a binder folder into these little envelopes. So that's how I store my patterns. These are just from Kmart and they're just perfect, and again, my favourite shade of pink. Then I've just got this beautiful vase of Banksias that I've had for a couple of weeks and they're still looking pretty cute. Maybe they'll stay like that forever, I'm not sure. The vase is by Robert Gordon and we got that as a wedding present. Then I've just got my knitting here. I've started knitting myself a cardigan. I only started on the weekend, so fingers crossed I stick at it and actually finish the whole project. There's my phone. And then I've got this basket here. This here is a padded headband I made a couple of days ago. I actually hopefully will have had a video go live already on how to make these yourself if you'd like to give it a go. It turned out really cool and I'm really happy with how that tutorial turned out. So go check that one out if you haven't already. And then I've just got this basket of kind of scrap fabrics. I don't know yet what I'm going to make out of these fabrics. Maybe some scrunchies to go out with the Rosery Apparel orders, but I kind of just like keeping this fabric pile here because the colors just inspire me so much. Does anyone else do that? Just have their favorite fabrics on display constantly, and I kind of feel that's what I'm doing here with this basket. And then the chair for this table is also just a secondhand one in this brown color which I really love as well. And then I've just got some storage underneath this table full of other magazines and some market bits, a screen print there, and some accessories for my knitting machine. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed a little look at my sewing space. It's also just started to rain and it's really cozy. I'm so excited because nothing makes me happier than an afternoon of sewing while it's raining outside. So I'm really excited about that. If I did miss anything or you want to know a bit more about any of the items I've shown in this video, then please feel free to leave a comment on this video and I'll answer it as best as I can. But yeah, thanks for watching.